All right, what's going on, guys? My name's Cliff, and this is Higher Education's podcast. As always, I'm joined by. How you guys want me to introduce you guys? Like, you want names? You want the
Just go in order.
usuals?
You gotta go first.
I'm just Z.
You gotta enunciate into the microphone.
I'm Z.
I'm Brian.
I'm May.
What's up, guys? So,
Inflation.
literally.
Hopefully not Trump's fault.
Also that. Also not my dick. Alright, so I got a whole plethora of topics I want to talk about. So you could say they're hot topics.
Ha! Slap the knee.
Alright, so let's just dive in. The first topic I want to talk about is... Bless you. Alright, so yeah. The first topic I want to talk about is Abducted in Plain Sight. It's this documentary that I forced these two guys to watch. And yeah, what'd you guys think of it?
I thought it was a pretty solid documentary. I think her parents were just stupid.
Yeah.
And
Understatement of the year.
Yeah, and I think she did well. The victim, she did well in trying to defend them.
If they still are
saying
parents.
that he was just a master, and he was just a master manipulator. He could do all these things, like praising him as this good person, but like, no, I think that they were just thinking with their, body parts as opposed to thinking with their mind.
Yeah, because I always wonder how the parents were so manipulated that they also went into affairs with this guy, Mr. Berchold. And do you chalk that up to manipulation, or were they just that naive that they thought he genuinely likes them?
Just fucking dumb.
I think that there's like a level of humanity that's just like very easily persuade. Like that's you get an entire cult of people to like kill themselves, shit like that. Like
but like
normal thinking people don't just drink the Kool-Aid. There's someone that
but it's like
you have to already be susceptible to it.
But that's like a group mentality thing. That's separate because these are all isolated incidents.
But can't you say that like they were affected by a mix of things? Because the same way that there are a subset of people that are mentally susceptible to that, there's also, like you said, group mentality is something that we're all susceptible to. So it could have been
maybe
both of those factors.
Maybe the group mentality was that he was a good guy, and that's why they kept him around.
I mean, they were
And
consistently
then the isolated incidents is the negative things.
They were consistently talking to him, which was like a large part of the issue.
Like
and a family can still be a group mentality regardless of
like the
It's
whole
two people still. I mean,
the way that they were just okay with this old ass dude talking about openly wanting to marry their like 13-year-old daughter is just
I think at that part
inappropriate.
that's where they drew the line, was when he like was outwardly like, hey, like I have feelings for your daughter, and they were like, cut that shit out. But like earlier when it was like, oh, it's just Jan, I want to take Jan up to the shore with me, or I want to take Jan to
go
the ice
take
cream
Jan
parlor.
horseback riding.
Like that's so fucking weird. Why
it is.
Why you
And then here's the best
about
thing: is they go to fucking Mexico and they get married, and they don't even question it. They don't even
It's
are
Mexico.
like, "Hey, why'd you get married in Mexico? What was the necessity
It's
to
Mexico.
get married?"
You know what? I'm gonna say some racist shit, and I will stop myself. But I could probably marry a donkey if I go down to Mexico. I'm not gonna
I
stop myself.
understand the abilities to do it, but what I'm saying is the
Like,
parents,
why? Like,
the
why?
parents never questioned
No, the
Berchtold
parents didn't know.
as to why.
When he took them down to Mexico, he said, "Yo,
Oh, I have a
your
chance.
daughter's going horseback riding. Can I take her? I'll take her instead." Mom was like, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah,
And he was like, "Let me take her anyway." And then instead of taking her horseback riding, he drove her to Mexico.
the
kidnapped
way
her.
the
That was
way
the
that
first time
they
he kidnapped
found
her.
out about them being in Mexico was they got married and they were trying to get back across the border, and they couldn't get the marriage to cross the border unless they got their parents' approval in the United States to sign off on it.
But they weren't gonna let that happen.
Yeah, and that's the way that like they
Wait, hold
caught
on.
it.
Why?
They never
So if
questioned
the
why they
parents
got
were-
married.
I'm
The
saying-
parents would have been like, "Yeah, that's cool. He could have came to America with a 14-year-old bride in the 70s."
No. She was still 12.
She was. Oh, okay. That's even worse.
Yeah.
And then they just had this open dialogue from there on out. And then no, dude, remember when they had to? There was a whole part where he went to therapy. He went to a psychologist who was like, "You have this problem, and the reason that you like Jan and you have this you're like fixated on her is because when you were younger, your only role in it as a teenage and formative years was taking care of your younger sister, which when you get a side comment from the dude's brother, he literally straight up admits that the Berchtold also molested his younger sister.
Fuck.
So like,
Multiple times.
yeah, so like it's not even like the psychologist goes, this is what we need to do. You need to listen to these tapes that I give you and lay in bed with her.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Even worse than that, the parents were like, oh, that's weird, and I'm uncomfortable with it, but go ahead, because it's 4-year therapy, and it's his therapy. And why the fuck? Exactly.
Why the fuck?
Exactly.
What the fuck?
It's his therapy, so yeah.
I'm saying, why didn't Pops just fucking cap him, man? Instantly, dude.
Because he was a beta
Instantly,
cuck.
you know, and
I hate that
he
word, but
constantly,
yeah.
What,
he
cuck?
no, in the
Beta
video,
cuck.
dude.
I hate beta cuck so much.
Beta or cuck?
But you know what? It's
The combination.
not the combination. Yeah, hold on, give me a sec. So what were you about to say before I rudely interrupted you?
Beta cuck.
Yeah, no. Fucking, the dad was talking about toward the ending of the video how, you know, he was upset that he didn't catch it before. Like,
Catch it before.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You caught his
That's what I'm
dick in your
saying.
hand.
What do you
In
mean?
your.
You jerked him off.
You did jerk him off. He slept with your wife.
He
He slept
your
no,
shop.
fam. He
Hold on,
slept
real
with your
rap,
wife,
real
fam.
rap. You think him and Andy get together for the Netflix hand jobs?
Oh my
Because this came out in
God, for the Fire
2017.
Festival.
So Fire Festival saw this and was like, yo, we need a nigga that sucks my dick. Well, he didn't almost. Well, Andy sucked that dick.
He definitely
No,
sucked that dick.
Andy did not.
He sucked that dick.
Andy
Yo,
sucked
come on,
that
he
dick.
sucked that dick. Nah, yo, but no, I think the father was just an idiot, man.
Yeah.
Like he
Plain and
should
simple.
The father
have
literally
capped him.
is at
Capped
work.
him, whooped his ass, anything.
He's at work.
Anything.
Dude shows up. Is like,
Call the police.
yo, they called the police after fucking Jan got abducted. The FBI got
Also,
called.
there-
Not
the
even
FBI
directly.
The
Like,
Which
he
FBI.
time?
waited like 5
Alright,
days.
so the
Time.
first time they were gonna call the cops, and then Berchtold's wife came over and was like, "Wait, they might just be camping and they might be stuck or something." So they didn't call, and then 2 days went by, and it was like, "Oh, let's call the cops." And the wife was like, "I don't want to make a big deal out of nothing." So then on the 5th day, they called the cops, and the FBI had to ram
No,
into
they
her
called
head.
this
He
Sunday.
already had a
Called
wife?
this Sunday.
No, he's got a wife and
What?
children.
They
What
called-
the fuck?
they
Like
called
Thursday,
back.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days.
Yeah, they went 4 days. But when the
No,
FBI shows
Because
up,
they also called. They called like earlier. They called like at the end of the week.
She said she
I think
rang,
called
and then
on
they told her that.
Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, she said she rang. They told her to call another number, and she said she didn't want to make that big of a deal. So she
Yeah.
called later. And like,
And then
yeah,
on
the
Sunday,
FBI agent also, after they were involved, he had to hammer into their head that, yo, he kidnapped your daughter.
Yeah, straight
He's not
up.
just gone for a little bit with your daughter. You haven't seen her in like weeks.
Yeah.
Like she's kidnapped.
She's moving on,
Yeah.
man. They're just idiots, dude. Just idiots.
It is a captivating documentary, though. I will say that.
100%.
It just made me madder and madder and madder. All right, so let's segue into something else that's gonna make us mad.
All right.
Let's talk about Burberry
Hmm.
and this fuck shit they did. Did you guys see Burberry's new news collection? Yeah,
Looks good.
comes with a burning cross and a white robe.
I mean,
Look, have you
Sure
guys have you literally
sure
have you
that
seen
would
this?
lie.
You want to talk about the fact that a Burberry
Sure,
scarf
lunch.
costs $430?
Have you
That's
seen
the
this?
first fuck thing they did.
You see that gentleman? That first one? They still selling this stuff?
No, they took that shit off the rack. So for those of you who don't know, Burberry apologized for hoodies with nooses around the necks. Yeah, the fashion band Burberry literally had like a almost Assassin's Creed type outfit.
because here's the thing, though.
Around the neck is just a fucking big ass noose.
But the headline reads, "Suicide isn't fashion." See,
Yeah.
I see that, and I don't think suicide. I think like
But
lynching.
either way, you have to
I
see
think
that.
like hate crime.
You see that when
I
you're
mean, it's
putting the
negative
design
either
out.
way.
Yeah.
I don't think it can be like construed as a positive thing.
But that's my point. You see that when you're putting it out. Either in your head you think that's racist, or in your head you think, oh, well, that's fucked up because that's about suicide. But either way, are you trying to sell that?
Hell no.
Yeah.
That's a negative Ghost
I
Rider.
think.
Yeah.
I think.
You gotta
If
veto
it
that
was-
shit out. the
Survey
gate.
says.
I think on both sides of it, it's fucked up. On either side, it's yeah. Like I said, it's fucked up. If it's a race thing, then come on now. Like black people were lynched for years, and I'm sure there's still black people being lynched every day. Like I wouldn't be surprised. But also, if it's about suicide, then it's kind of fucked because like think about it. Our culture does normalize like suicide. We joke
Yeah.
about the shit like, on a day-to-day basis.
so-
like.
Actually, I watched this entire fucking mindfuck video where it was basically talking about how the idea of suicide has been drilled into our heads in cartoons ever since we were like children. Like every like Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, you name it, all have like suicide as being a way out, as being an option. It's literally the last episode of Tom and Jerry is both of them getting rejected by their women and both of them committing suicide. By the train. Yeah. Literally, that's the final episode of Tom and Jerry. Yeah. You know, there are so many references in the Looney Tunes where characters just pull out guns and shoot themselves in the face and kill themselves. It is drilled into our head that suicide is always an option. Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it is. But like,
I mean, we live in a weird era now. Jokes, like a lot of comedians, it's funny to be that self-introspective and really dark and cynical comic where it's like, oh, my life sucks and I'm a shithead, I should just kill myself. And it's like Louis C.K. is a perfect example of I am a shithead laughing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to point that out. I didn't really point when I said that.
It also just goes to show that like in this culture we think about dying so much because the shit happens every day. Like it happens around us literally every day. You see it on the news, see it on social media. Shit happening in our schools, in our churches. Like just walking down the block, fam. Like, and it's become so normalized. Like, that niggas just don't give a fuck.
Well, like suicide spreads cultural bounds. I mean, suicide goes from like the poorest of nations to the richest of nations. It's not something that's, you know, subjective to, you know, status or, you know, wealth or anything. I think every person's ability to deal with problems has everything to do with how many problems they've had to face throughout their lives. You know, if somebody really has never been troubled or faced with problems throughout their life, they get a big problem, or even if they have been troubled in life, you know, and it's just they haven't properly been dealing with them, you know. But on the other hand, you could be like, why is suicide not okay? Because it's like a person's right. You know, it's like, it's my life. If I want to end it, I can do that. I can do anything I want with my life but end it.
We're getting in the waters that I want to swim out of and swim away from those. And because you're allowed to have your opinions, I'm allowed to have mine. I don't want to have things get messy. Not for us, but like.
I mean, from like a old person like pain sort of way.
Well, but that's euthanasia though, and that's a whole. So since we're talking about, you said something about lynching, so let's just move right into the Jussie Smolletts category.
I'm just kidding.
Can I get a fake assault for $500? Dude. Do you know what even originally happened? I know you're not black or gay or you watch Empire. I only hit
talking to me or Ben?
You, well, both of you, because I only hit one of those checks. Because I don't watch Empire.
I don't watch Empire.
I don't watch
Empire. Yeah, you're only black. You're not gay or watch Empire.
I only hit two.
I don't watch Empire.
I'm pretty gay.
But I actually watched the Philip DeFranco video this morning about this whole topic, so I am slightly immersed.
Oh, word. All right, so.
What?
I know about the situation that happened. I think I've seen like 2 episodes of it.
Okay. Oh, damn, that's more than me.
So.
All right, so you could show up tomorrow at 4 to pick up the black card.
Excuse me. We need to have a side meeting about this at least, fam. Come on now.
Okay, I'll go watch Empire.
So.
Have you seen any of Power?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, that might put you over.
You know.
What was
that?
Do you know who's in Power?
What was that Netflix series that we watched? That was about like the Black Student Union in a college.
Dear
White People.
Yeah, that's my shit.
I love that movie.
That's my shit. I haven't seen the movie, but the TV show is my shit.
I haven't seen the TV show, but the movie was really good.
I bet. Yeah.
So wait, so does the movie happen and then the TV show takes up from where the movie happened?
I haven't seen the movie, but I think the movie follows the dude, right?
The movie follows the
girl. Okay,
yeah.
So the TV show goes how the movie goes.
Yeah,
well,
it's the podcast. It's
it follows
the radio.
both the guy with the fro and the
Okay.
chick.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Then in the show, I think it does like just kind of like everyone.
Yeah, the show does spread to everyone because it's a whole TV show, so they can't.
This is the problem. We need more mics. We want to look at each other and talk.
It's like I know I'm talking to Cliff, but like.
Do you want to switch so you can like sit up?
That's fine.
You guys can look at me. You don't have to look at the mic.
We have to look at the mic.
Yeah, because I have to
or else the mic
into the
can't
mic.
hear us.
I'm looking at you and the mic simultaneously.
I can
That's
kind
why
of do
I
that, but I'm like, I got you with this side
I
eye.
mean, I've been hearing all three of you guys fine the whole time, so just do it. Like, you guys just do
Okay.
whatever you do.
Word.
Well, just don't. That doesn't mean like that.
I mean,
Need that.
My shit
What about
don't
the past
dance.
though?
Let me pull up my pants.
Right. But
Rock.
so yeah, Jussie Smolletts, the cops are saying now that he faked it, which the details always seem kind of weird because like there were two white dudes roaming around Chicago, Detroit, or where was it?
Chicago was it?
Yeah, they're just roaming around there in like the coldest weather we've had in years. Like, let me find me a black guy.
Pause. I've never been to Chicago, but I know there's a lot of niggas there, and I know that there's probably not gonna be a lot of niggas on the street.
No, it's cold as shit. They keep going outside. It's 15 degrees.
Fuck no. So I also know that there probably wasn't like just two random niggas just.
Just an eyeshadow palette, and all the colors are named after vines.
And they were roomies.
Do you guys remember this? Did you see the whole spiel he went on where he went on Good Morning America? And he was like talking about it. He was like, I don't need them to have MAGA hats on to make it racist. Whatever the fuck he said. What did he actually say? Doesn't matter, because apparently he was lying.
He was lying.
Why?
You gotta lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie.
Apparently someone was saying that like he was fearing that he was gonna like get cut from
So
Empire.
I saw that on the Phil DeFranco show, but then they
But
discredited it because
he had
they
like a whole
literally
musical set and like hella scenes.
even Empire came out and they were like, the likelihood that we would get rid of one of our core characters is incredibly false. Like,
Jussie Smolletts, he lied. I don't know why, because now he got all of his shit cut, so now he might actually get kicked off of Empire. Someone also said that like maybe he was like trying to get someone back, so he wanted to gain sympathy from them. Which also I don't see how that works. And they're like, oh, maybe right before he called the cops.
trying to get some I just got bugged pussy. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Oh, dick, but
Oh, he's gay. You're trying
yeah.
to get some I just got bugged dick.
Yeah, but here's the thing too.
Like I
that,
just got beat to shit, so beat my ass to shit. Like,
yeah, Jesus. Someone was saying.
Oh, sorry. I just got my ass beat to shit. Let me beat that ass to shit. Sorry. I had to say it either way.
Either way.
I don't know.
It's not needed. But yeah, either way, the manager is the one that called the cops. So someone was saying that maybe he wasn't trying to get the cops involved, and the manager was like, "There's a noose around your neck." Also, there was a noose around his neck, but he didn't take off the entire time.
Yeah, he said I didn't know it was there, and somebody was like, "How do you not know there's a goose around your neck?"
Nigga, it's chilling. Did you not see the Burberry fashion shit? Like, they knew. They knew. How'd you not know?
Trendy fashion.
The next topic I want to talk about is Michael Rappaport and Meek Mill. So, for the black guy here, do you know who Michael Rappaport is?
I know that he a nigga that help out.
Yeah, he got a black wife. He was an actor.
He help out black folk a lot.
Let me get a picture
That's
for
it
you.
though. That's all I know.
Well, I get this picture.
I don't know nothing else.
The white people in the room.
Yo, I don't know nothing else.
Do you know who Meek Mill is?
Hold on. Multiple choice? Or is this just
Yeah.
just guess?
Oh, I know.
Gucci Mane, Meek
I know who Michael
Mill.
Rappaport is.
No, yeah, you know who Meek Mill is, right?
Yes, I know.
So apparently Michael Rappaport was like trashing Meek Mill's All-Star Game performance. Like he was telling him like, you ain't shit. Like, let me pull up some tweets just because he was being an instigator and a geek. Because like I saw this shit logging into Twitter and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why is Meek Mill beefing with
Michael. Like a comedian.
Michael Mill? Right, yeah, what the
Like
fuck?
seriously, why? What's the point? Why are they beefing?
Put some elevator music in right here. Alright. So the first tweet goes, Meek Mill have a hearing problem because he rhymes off the actual beat on everything he's on. Literally off the beat, like no flow. Meek Mill, great story, great look, trash rapper. Sorry. You make 300 songs, 5 will be okay. Hashtag Meek Mill. Meek Mill had a chance to prove he was a dope rapper, and then came Drake. That was a moment to stand tall as a rapper. Like I said, great story, great look, probably gonna do some positive stuff. None of that means you're a dope MC. Dragged by Drake? By Drake? Meek Mill had a chance to prove he was a dope rapper, and then came Drake. I just read that shit.
So my question is do you think we You think we give Meek a bigger bump because
Philly? Yo, he got bars that like.
That's what I'm saying.
honestly,
So
that,
think about it. Every song that we bump has always got some fucking reference to Philly where we're like, yeah.
It's. I think I can look at the music and step back and be like, yeah, some of your bars don't bump, but some of these bars really do bump.
But also, can we acknowledge the fact that he has that one line about if you ain't about that murder business, then, you know, in like 5 different songs.
Yeah, if you ain't about that real murder shit, the real pussy
Yep.
rappers, shut up.
There you go.
I found this
that
one.
murder game. Pussy nigga, shut up.
There you go. That's
Damn, I
it.
should lose my Philly card.
I was gonna say I knew it. I just can't say it.
He also said, where I'm from, if you get dragged by Drake and don't respond, you are and always will be whack. Or at least making competitive re-up something. People catch feelings because you know I'm right about Meek. And then he said, I'm sorry, seeing Meek Mill perform entirely off beat again, this time at the All-Star game, got me in my feelings, pun intended. I started by saying he's gonna do good things in real life, just hopefully on beat. Meek Mill is even the top 20 rappers from Philly, and you guys are mad at me. Now, someone came in his comments and put a list of top 20 rappers. You guys want to hear who he thinks is better than me?
Yes.
I'm gonna go down 1 to 20. Top 20. That sound fair?
Top 20. This is Michael Rappaport's show?
This is some nigga in Michael Rappaport's comments, and Michael Rappaport agreed with.
Okay.
EST, number 1. Fresh Prince.
Greatest rappers of all time.
And Philly. Schoolie. Beanie. Thought. Freeway. Steady B. Eve. Corrupt. Ice Dog. Cool C. Marvelous. Eon. Lil Dicky. Vinnie Paz. Dice Raw. Cassidy. Kia. Last Emperor. Number 21. Meek Mill. First of all, I don't even know who half these niggas are.
Okay.
Second of all, Lil Dicky is sitting at 15 top Philly rappers of all time.
Okay.
And Meek Mill is at 21.
No, stop. My argument is this. Why the fuck do you put Lil Dicky anywhere on the list?
He's a
With
Philly rapper.
idiot, no.
If I started rapping and
He's not on the list. He's not on the list with any of those. He should not be on the list with any of those.
Name 10 Philly rappers right now. Because I'm gonna stop you. I can't name more than 5.
Beanie.
So
Freeway.
if I can't name more than 5, Lil Dicky can be 6.
Well, I mean,
is that not fair?
I would just
Will
name
Smith.
those.
That's one of them. If I can't name like 10 Philly rappers,
Freeway.
nigga, do not just name niggas from this list.
Yeah, I mean, those are the niggas that I know, though. Those are the niggas that I know. I mean, there's not many more.
That's what I'm saying. So then Lil Dicky can be 6, but Meek is definitely not behind those niggas.
No.
No, but like Philly does not rep hard in the rap game.
It used to in the 80s. Philly went hard.
All I'm saying is
Philly went hard in the 80s. What? Yeah, what?
Yeah, you're gonna talk about a time that none of us can reference back to.
Hey,
before
if Cowboys fans can do it, I can do it too.
All I'm saying
bad,
is like there are rap.
Hey, we got 6.
There are rap like culture towns, you know, like Atlanta has a rap culture around it that's very different from like LA rap culture, you know, or like fucking.
I think that's
Compton
different
rap
though, because
culture.
LA rap culture is
Like
something
Detroit
that
rap culture.
really always was non-existent because East Side culture was taking over. Like it went like LA and then the South and then us and then it went back to the South with like T.I. and shit.
Yeah.
And then it kind of started drifting back up to us. And then Kendrick was like, I'm LA and New York. And we're like, all right, whatever.
I feel like when people are
And then it went back
Philadelphia-
down to the South with like trap music and Future and shit. And now it's on SoundCloud.
I feel like the way that you find out that somebody is famous and from Philadelphia is you go, oh, I didn't know they were from Philadelphia, because they never talk about
Yeah,
from
like
being
Bradley
from
Cooper.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You just eventually find out one day that like they're from
Oh,
Philly or like the Philly area, and you're like,
Or like, if
Oh, like
they're like
Tina
watching
Fey
an
is-
Eagles game and
Exactly.
then like
It's like, oh, that nigga. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like Tina Fey is from Upper Darby, but like
Yeah.
nobody fucking
No one
knows
talks
that.
about
I
it.
talk about this shit all the time. It's team for this shit.
Yeah, but like I've never seen a single thing where she references it.
yeah, she does. She does in 30 Rock all the fucking time.
Listen, if I didn't
I watch
grow,
SNL at least.
I didn't grow. Actually, fun fact: Alex Roberts met Tina Fey in a restaurant. If we grew up around here, 100% no ever involvement. It's just because we don't. I didn't know about it until I read her book that she was from Upper Darby.
Yeah, but like if you watched her TV
I didn't
show-
watch 30 Rock. That's my fault.
Yeah, like, I'm just saying, like that's like a big Tina Fey, like.
That was one of those shows. I understood it was good. I just never watched it.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just saying you can't say she never references it when like in one of her biggest
When she
things.
does.
She references it all the fucking time.
Yeah, you're right. So, going all back to the Meek Mill, Michael Rappaport. Meek Mill had a short, sweet answer to Michael Rappaport's Twitter tirade. Because it was unprovoked. You literally just saw him perform and was like, why you shit on this nigga on Twitter? So Meek said, A, at Michael Rappaport spelled wrong. Don't ever use the word trash when speaking on nothing from our culture unless you're trying to get trashed. He put the little emoji. Shh. Number 2, who gave you authorization to speak on us? Number 3, what are you charging now? Last time I seen you, you wanted a selfie. Be great though on the net. And then, this is damn good. Someone posted authorization. That kind of, that does seem like authorization a little bit. That too.
Not really.
But like, here's the thing.
Just because he's in a picture.
Obviously, it's not just a picture, but he's been involved in that whole era since like I was just reading about something earlier that's like he was involved with them too. So I kind of guess that does give him.
Yeah.
Because also, as a critic, you have authority to critique music.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're right or wrong.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to be a musician to be a critic. You don't have to be a master in the thing you're critiquing.
But if
you can have an opinion, and your opinion can be valid.
There are people who are like internet trolls who have valid opinions, but absolutely no platform.
And then Meek tweeted this. Hey yo, who this? Anonymous. I think it's the guy from White Man Can Jump. Him. Meek, you so fire. You give me that feeling of what hip hop is missing. I'm a fan. Can I get a selfie? Hurry up, go ahead.
Oh man.
You gotta quote him like that.
Because that's probably what the fuck he said.
And I love I love fucking Twitter just for this cracker.
Call him master. Very mature rundown. Oh my God.
I love Dave Chappelle skits whenever he played a white man. Looked like he had a whole bottle of baby powder just chilling on his face.
So much, dude.
Or like when he played
flour and sugar, dude. Just
yo. Have you ever seen the SNL skit where fucking Eddie Murphy gets dressed up as a white man and he goes around life as a white man to see what it's like? And he like walks into this convenience store and he goes to buy a newspaper and the guy who's behind the counter is also white and there's nobody else in the store and he goes and he starts taking money out and he starts putting it on the counter. He goes, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Just take it." And he's just like looking at him like they just like walks away like the whole day like everything like weird starts happening. There's like an event where like the last black person gets off the bus and like there's only white people on the bus, so it like turns into this like party area. It's great.
The niggas are gone. So it's the last segment I want to move into. I call this "Let's Not Meet Again." I ripped this straight from the subreddit called "Let's Not Meet Again." It's like a meet cute, but a meet ugly.
Oh, is this where you found that wheelchair chick from?
What?
The wheelchair chick with the rub me down. This is your guy when you're in New York.
Oh, I'm thinking of something else. No, I found that on a random sub linked from a Today I Fucked Up. But a little too long, didn't read for the guy. He was on Tinder, 37, met a female, 36. She was in a wheelchair. She said, "I'm going out to LA from Australia for vacation. I need some minor intensive therapy done to me. Would you like to do that?" He was like, "Yeah." She came through, massaged her, and then they hooked up. And then in the morning, he was like, "When you gonna pay me?" So they hooked up again. He was like, "Fuck pay." And then she was like, "I'm going out to New York for 2 days. Wanna come?" He was like, "I don't know." So she sucked his dick, and then he was like, "Yeah, let's go to New York." And they got to New York, and it's horrible because it takes her like 3 hours to get ready, and then every 10 minutes, every hour, he has to stop and massage her because she has intense pain, and she's also like epileptic. And it's really fucked up. And they get out to New York, and 5 days in, when they were supposed to be there for 2, he's running out of insulin. She's like, "Hey, like I kind of want to go back." So she books a ticket for him to go back, a ticket for her to go back. But then the ticket for her to get back to Australia is $15 short. So she's like, I can just pay you later. Something's wrong with my ATM. And he dips and he goes home because he just can't take it.
Yeah, he misses his first flight to get her out because she's super late. And she ends up having a seizure.
And that's a whole thing I didn't want to get into too.
He also ends up kind of abandoning her, but it's like after a whole trials and tribulation where it's like, listen, like I have no money, you have no money, and it's very clear I cannot help you. Like I have to go home. And it's just like he had to like leave. He had to
It
do
was
his
like-
thing. Like
So he planned it out to know where it would take 4 hours to leave. Their flight was at 1. So he wanted to have left the hotel at 12.
Yeah, he didn't.
They wake up, she has to shower. Gets out the shower, they're like, yo, it's about to be 12.
and he's
She's
like,
like,
"You
"You gotta
makeup
go."
in the
Yeah, she's
car."
like, I want to do my makeup. He's like, can you do it in the car, do it at the airport? And then they start having an argument, and then she has a seizure because of the argument. So they miss the flight. So she's like, can you wait with me? And then another one, and he bounces. And he has family somewhere in New Jersey, but after he bounces, she's texting him like, I love you. I need you. Please, I need you to check in these 2 bags for me. Otherwise, you're going to charge me this and that. And he just had to like be like, no. Like for his mental health, he just blocked it
And
off.
he didn't get paid for his
For
entire like thing. Even though, don't get me wrong, like he's
Bamboozled.
super unprofessional for like hooking up with somebody who you're like massaging
Yeah.
and to like expect money for that still. But like, yeah,
The fucked part is because she kept saying throughout the trip that she would pay him. Like I tried to yada yada over a lot of details.
Yeah.
But because in my head, it's like, all right, well, you just exchanged goods for services, so why are you expecting to be paid? But then she says, oh, I'll pay you. There's just a problem with the payment. That doesn't mean that we had an agreement to not pay. That means that you're trying to not pay me. So I think that's different. But that's not the story. That's just a wild, I don't want to meet her either.
yeah. I just didn't know if that was where you found this.
No. That's cool though. No, that's not where I found this. No, Let's Not Meet Again is more creepy, like weird shit. So the first story I want to talk about is Dad Saved My Life. This is written by user D's94. Not D's Nuts. I'd thank him for that. So he goes, I was 13 years old at the time, now 22, on vacation with my parents in Turkey. We were in an all-exclusive hotel and enjoying the holiday. The hotel was full of tourists from different countries. There was this one guy, around 20.
Did you say all exclusive?
All-inclusive. I said all-exclusive, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All-exclusive. You don't get shit.
That's what I said. You don't get fucking shit.
No sheets, no...
That's what I said. You sleep on the floor, motherfucker.
You mean a hostel?
Yeah. All right. So there's this one guy around 20 who was staring at me for some time. I felt uncomfortable, and I asked him what he was doing. Wrong choice. The next few days, everywhere I was, he was also suddenly appearing. Not flirting, just lurking for hours and watching me. He had a really strange
He
vibe.
was 13.
This kid was
The
13.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who's watching this.
Yeah.
He felt like he shouldn't be alone with this guy. So now I was still young, so my parents didn't want me to leave alone in a foreign country, so he couldn't bother me. But one night there was an entertainment in the hotel, which it became boring for me after some time. I told my parents I wanted to go to the hotel room, and I would see them in the morning. I left and walked to the elevator. What I didn't know was that guy was watching me for days and saw me leaving, and he followed me. When I saw him also coming in, I was in great fear. He looked at me silently with a sinister smile, and this is it, I thought. Rape, assault, or maybe even worse. And just before the doors of the elevator were closing, someone stuck his foot between it to prevent the doors from closing. I am not kidding. And all I could see was a boot, the doors opened, and it was my dad.
Yes.
He saw the creepy guy was leaving at the exact same time I left and didn't trust it. He looked the guy in the eye and said, hello. My dad took me to my hotel room. To this day, I'm glad for the rescue because I don't know what would have happened if he didn't. And that's like, talk about trusting your gut instinct.
Yeah, yo.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Here's
Yeah,
the
what if-
deal,
what if
though.
that-
That's what happens,
What if-
man, when you're a good fucking dad. You fucking intervene when you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But I guarantee you, these parents probably noticed this guy staring at their
The
kids
whole time.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my thing
Like,
though.
yo, fuck that.
What if this was like Turkey's like publisher's closing house where like this kid was about to get like $5,000 a week for life and his dad straight cussed him out of it where he's like, there can only be one person in the Turkish elevator fucking guys. And fuck me, Dad. God damn it, Dad.
That's like,
Come on.
if we take it to another more stereotypical route, that's like, he could have won a lifetime supply of ice cream. Why didn't he just get in the ice cream truck? And it's like, well, like,
Well, I mean, if you only have one piece of ice cream before you die, then it's really your lifetime supply.
it's true.
It's the rest of your life.
All right.
God damn. God damn.
Let's go through another person we don't want to meet.
We'll have all
This one's written by user deleted. This is fuck this account. Ooh. What happened to him? Alright, the day I woke up late. One day when I was in elementary school, I think probably 3rd and 4th grade, I was awoken by my mom in a rush. She had overslept, and since she always wakes me up in the morning, this meant that I had to. Now, there was just no way I was going to be ready for school early enough to get on the school bus. If I recall, school started at 8 a.m. and my bus pickup time was 7. But it was already 6:40 or something, and I was still in my pajamas, and I hadn't even eaten breakfast yet. So my mom decided that today, we would just tell the bus driver to go on ahead, and she would take me to school. So I'm sitting there at the dining table eating breakfast, and it's about 6:50. We heard the bus pull up, about 10 minutes earlier than usual, so that's weird. My mom peeks her head out the door into the foggy morning and waves the bus on. She closes the door and comes back inside, but the bus is still there. There's a knock at the door, and Mom opens it to find a man in a bus driver's uniform. He explains that he's a substitute bus driver. Yeah, if I can get the page up, I'll tell you what else.
I'm at the edge of my seat, man.
He's a substitute bus driver, and the regular bus driver is 6, and he's filling in. He says he knows he's a few minutes early, since he wanted to get an early start in the route, and since he doesn't know it that well. Mom explained to him that she was going to take me to school since we woke up late, and he gets visibly upset and says that he can wait a few minutes until he's ready, and since he's already running ahead of schedule, he's got time. My mom insists that no, I won't be ready to go to school in a few minutes, and tells him to go ahead. He seemed angry about this, but turns around and got back on the bus, and then he left. I go back to eating and still don't have my school clothes on at this point, but at 7 a.m. sharp, another bus pulls up at my house.
Yeah, early. Like on time.
Mom thinks this is weird and goes outside to talk to them. Ugh. She comes back inside, looking terrified. But she doesn't really say anything about it.
But you know what happened.
But yeah,
She went to talk to the other bus driver.
It was like, what's this fuck shit
like,
going on?
hey,
Why is
there's
two buses?
another bus here. What the fuck?
And the bus driver, when the bus pulled up, it was full of kids, and the other bus was like just empty. So she's like, oh, let me talk to the bus driver. And the mom asked the bus driver, and he says, I didn't call in sick. There's no substitute driver on my route. So they call dispatch. Dispatch calls the police, and they report the incident, but there was no one else on that route that day. So whoever this was most likely a kidnapper that had targeted me. I've never heard anything about it again, and not even if someone else had ended up being picked up by this mysterious fake bus driver.
Sure.
But chances are, had I gotten on that bus, I would have never made it to school or back home. No shit, nigga.
Yeah.
If mom hadn't overslept on that specific day, I would have been on that bus.
Yeah.
Yo, my straight fucking SpongeBob ass mind was thinking like it was like a ghost bus driver. I was like, substitute bus driver. Early, foggy morning. Oh shit! I heard like the biggest ghost story coming out of nowhere.
Ashley and Slasher.
It's the hash bus driver.
Oh, see, I want the ghost ship with
It was like you said, foggy morning, bus driver coming early, and I was like, he hasn't come this early since 7 years ago.
Nope,
This very day.
Yeah, no, it's just Tony the pedophile.
Just some
Driving
time trying to diddle some child. All right.
There, great. All right. Y'all not feeling me on that one?
the Flying Dutchman. That's where I
Oh,
was
agree,
going,
nigga.
not the hash slinging.
You're good.
That's where I was
You're
going.
good. You're
You
good.
good? You good?
Patrick, where the fuck is the shit? Oh, there you rock. My bad, you was good. All right, well, that's all the topics I have for you guys. You guys got anything you want to plug before we sign off? Ye yonder.
Yonder. Yonder. He really
He
can't.
said, yeah.
Have you ever seen
What's
this thing
wrong
that
with
was
you?
like,
Having black skin is an automatic invite to the
It's
cookout.
not.
That
It's
means
not.
yes, it is.
It's
that's not
Yes,
true.
it is.
I know some people who would not be invited
Yes,
to
it
the
is.
cookout.
Yes, it is. It's just
Yes.
the words that follow out of your mouth that come next.
You right.
Like what's her
Whatever
name?
you do,
Like fuck Candace Owens. I want to say that before. Oh, Phil the Burn 2020, but fuck Candace Owens. Man, what were you about to
So
say?
the bird.
I know two
He's not
people
gonna win.
Yes, he is.
with
Yeah, he is.
dark skin who would not be invited to the cookout.
Yeah, I argue with a black Trump supporter, so I can. That's three to that group.
Who?
But still, is it?
Two black folks. Oh yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
I don't know.
Fuck that nigga.
Yeah. All right. So it seems like you guys don't want to promote anything. You guys doing anything lately? You want to throw up and listen to that advertisement for shit?
Shut.
Follow me on Instagram.
Hey,
No, just
see,
messing around.
there we go. No, what's your Instagram handle? I mean, it's gonna be under your business.
Shut that shit up.
No.
No.
All right. Well,
Shut that shit up.
My mom follows me on Instagram, so like,
What is it? Follow me on Instagram.
do you have an Instagram?
I do.
What's your Instagram?
do you really?
I dude.
How you not
Ow.
know? Yeah.
Isn't it X marks the spot?
It's Instagram. No, what's it called?
He said it's
Nah, because every time I go to tag you, I type in like in, and I'm like, what the fuck is the rest of it? What is it?
it's fucking. Oh, it's pleasant accident.
Pleasant accident. That's what it is.
So I was gonna type in it's the bull X, and it's never that.
It's not bad.
I mean Z. I'll cut that.
I don't care. People know it's me.
I was about to
Oh
say.
yeah, I do follow
Yeah.
him.
So I've been Cliff. It's been Brian Z, May, XYZ, Marks and Spot.
Shut up.
Thanks for listening, guys. This has been Higher Education Podcast.
Bye.
Is that, no, that's a separate thing. It's confusing, but it's a separate thing.
Bye.